This is game 3 between the Reds, 70 to 216 Cubs. The Cubs have decided to make a few changes in their lineup. They've got Fowler, Haywood, Bryant, Rizzo, Zobrist. In the 6th position, they're batting Baez, Russell in the 7th position, Contreras in the 8th, and pitching today, we've got Hendricks for the Cubs, and for the Reds, we got Santo Alcala. The Reds lineup is similar to what's been played the last 3 games. And as I mentioned, the Cubs added Baez at the 6th slot and Contreras at the 8th slot. And, of course, Hendricks is the pitcher. So without further ado, I'm showing you the cards. So we'll see Rose's card right there. There we go. There's Rose's card. And Rose is up to bat first, being as that the Reds are in Chicago. So let's see how it goes for game. Jerry, I hope this is better than my last two videos. I'm just new at having to use cameras and switch things up and switch things around. So bear with me. I'm doing the best I can. I'm learning as it goes. Once this series is done, I'll put on all my broadcasts APB baseball / Wayback Baseball. And then when I get in, I'll tell you what episode and who's playing in that. So Rose is up. It's got 34. As you see, that's a 31. So we take a look in our book with bases empty. A 31 is a fly out to center field. So Rose is out number 1. Griffey is our second batter up. Griffey gets a 16. 16 is 28. And that's out at first, assist by the shortstop. So that's a 6-3. That's 2 away. Morgan is up. .45, and that's a 14. It says steals, that asterisk says he steals second with bases empty. So the bases are I'm using fielding 1. I believe it's like a 41 to 43 rating. I'm using fielding 1 with both of them. It says 14 is base on balls, batter takes first, and the asterisk down there says steal second with bases empty only. So it looks like he goes to second. Because the bases are empty. And that was a base on balls, and he went to second. So we credit him with a stolen base. Foster is up next. And that's a 13. Yes, Jerry, Joe stole second base. That's the reason why I have that dot on the second base. So he got a base on balls, and then he stole second, and that's because there was, there wasn't 3 outs. Foster got a 13. 13 is a 14, and that's with the man on second. It says base on balls, batter takes. So we have a man at first and second. So we have 2 walks in a row. Bench is up. Yeah, we had Morgan who had a walk and stole a base, and then we had Foster that just got walked. And Bench is up now. Bench has a 46, and with runners at second base, that you can see is a 13, and that's a strikeout, and that's put out by the catcher. And so that's a strikeout. That ends the first inning for the Reds, and we go to the bottom of the first for the Cubs. So the Reds did not score any at the top of the first. We go to Fowler for the Cubs. Base is empty. And that's a 66. That's 0. So we think we know he pretty much got a hit. 22, and that's we have to look at the second column, and that's a home run. Fowler starts off the game for the Cubs with a home run. Oh boy. And the Cubs are up 1-0 already. Hayward gets a 23, and 23 is a 12. With bases empty is out at first, put out by the third baseman. That's 1 out, 1 away. Bryant is due up third here. All right. Bryant has a 62. That is a 26. And He is out at first by the second baseman. All right, Rizzo's up. $53, that's 20. It says first on error, and that is on the error is on the second baseman, which would be Joe Morgan. So Zobrist is up. One home run, two outs, an error, and Zobrist gets a 35, and a 35 is a 14, and 14 is a base on balls. Okay, so that's a base on balls. Now this is our first new man of the game for the Cubs. They're putting Baez in today. We had to flip our chart sheet for man at first. I mean, for one man on, basically. 64, and that is a 35. That's a pop out to the catcher, and that will end the inning, guys. And I have to be honest, this is what the inning looked like, and I'm not very good at scoring a baseball sheet, but I hope I did justice to baseball fans everywhere. The only thing I need to do is I need to put a line after Baez there to signal the end of the inning, and we go to the Reds' bottom half of the second, and Perez is up. Let's see that. The pitcher did not have a Z on there. I checked. Good thing you mentioned that. And he doesn't have a Z. Hendricks does, but Alcala does not, and that's the Reds pitcher. Perez with flip the chart sheet back to empty. Gets a 23, and a 23 is a 26. Out at first by the second baseman. Geronimo's up. And that's a 12. And that's out at first by the third baseman. So that's 6. Concepcion up. Nobody on. Concepcion up. 26. And that's a 32 with bases empty. And 32, that's to fly out to right field. So 3 up and 3 down for the Reds in the second inning. We'll bring the pitcher up when the Reds come to bat in the third. And this is their actually, Jerry, from what I see on the card, he's just a grade C pitcher. There's no letters next to his name. And that was the Reds' second, my score sheet from the Reds' second. We go to Russell in the bottom of the second. I forgot that Reds aren't at home, so that was the top half of the second. Bottom half of the second is with the Cubs. Russell gets a 51, and with the bases empty, that's a base on balls. So we have a runner at first. Russell walked. Okay, Contreras, runner at first base. 23. It says, runner out, here's a good one. Runner out, stealing, and ejected. Assist catcher, put out shortstop. Balk runner to second. Okay. Wait a minute. Contreras, 23, 12. Oh, I'm reading the wrong thing, guys. That's because that's 23, and that's 12, and that says double play. So that's a double play for Contreras there. And that was assist by the second baseman, put out shortstop, put out first base. So that's 4, 6, 1, put out, and that's a double play. So that means that there's 2 outs. Okay, that gives us Hendricks, the pitcher, up, and it's only the second inning, so, and the Reds do not have any runs, so they're gonna let him hit. Oh, sorry, roll was a 34. And with nobody on, that's 31. Oh, wait a minute. There isn't. I'm sorry. There was. Okay, yeah, that's right. After the double play, there's nobody on, and it's 31. And that's a fly out to center field. So 3 up and 3 down once again for the Cubs in the bottom half of the second. Reds come up, and there's their score sheet. You got the base on balls. You got the double play. That was from the second baseman to the shortstop to the first base. That should be a 3, not a 1. There is no wild on his card, Jerry. See, there's no wild on his card. It says grade C pitcher, 1. No notations for any letters, X, Y, Z, W, Q, whatever. Just grade C pitcher. All right. Bottom of the third. Alcala's up to bat. Gets 44, and with bases empty, that is a 9. And that means that he got a single. So Alcala gets a single. Oh, wrong inning. Yeah, wrong inning. And that puts us back to Pete Rose for Pet puts us back to Pete Rose with a man on. Gets 54 and that is 32. Flies out to right field. Runner holds. Sorry, I forgot to put a chip at first. So the runner holds. Yeah, Jerry, we're playing the 76 Reds. So yeah, it's a pretty old card. Okay, that was a fly out to right field. Oh, that's no no big thing, Jerry. I'm new to this, so I don't know all the rules and numbers by heart. You're just kind of helping me out in a way. Griffey is up. That's a 32. That's 26 with a man at first. It says batter safe at first, runner out at second. That's 4-6. Okay, so we still have a man at first, basically. Oh. All right, that puts Morgan up with one on. '61 is a 14. Base on balls. So we got men at first and second now. Morgan got walked. Okay, runners at first and second. Brings up Foster. Oh, that's a 41. 24. And that's a double play, but with it being the third out of the inning, that's just basically an out by the second baseman. So that will bring Bench up in the fifth. And that's our third out. I mean, that's my score sheet, but I'm not really great at this, so, see how I made mistakes and stuff. We are in the top of the third. Yeah, and I even put those on the wrong line, so they should have been on the third line, not in the fourth. Okay, Fowler's up for the Cubs. We're at the top of the third here. It's a 13 with nobody on. And I believe that 13 is a 14 on the card. It's not a 13 as in, I'm saying it's a strike. That's a 14 on the card. And that's a base on balls. So Fowler walks. All right. Flip our chart over to runner at first. Hayward on. 64, and that with runner at first base, 64 is a 13, and that's a strikeout any way you look at it. That's by the catcher. So, limit two. Yes, the Cubs are the home team in this instance. Yeah, this is game 3. They're at home. .44 for Bryant, and that is an 8. Out at first, runner to second, and it says third base to first base. So okay, runner to second, out by the third baseman. And that was basically that gets charged to that's for 5, and that's second out, and Bryant is at first. So we have a runner at first now. And Rizzo's up. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. He's not at first. The guy was at second. So, but I'm going to leave this up here because I haven't changed anything yet. Rizzo's up with the guy at second. And with the guy at second, 14 is a base on ball. So we have two men up, two men on. Guy at first and the guy at second. The Reds look like they're trying. I mean, the Cubs look like they're trying to get something started here. (62-26) men at first and second. Oh, you can't see the two, but it's 62. And that's a 26 infield fly, put out by the second baseman. And that will be the end of the third inning. That was my score sheet. I'm not really great at scoring yet, so I'll show it to you, but it doesn't necessarily mean it is what it is. We have bench up this inning, and it's the top of the fourth. Bench up, empty bases. .21, and that's a strikeout. Bench strikes out. Wow. Perez comes up. .54. That's a 32. That's a fly out the right field. Two outs. Geronimo's up. That's 53. That is a 16. And that's a fly out to center field. Three up, three down for the Reds. As we go. Fourth inning. Okay. That's the top of the fourth. So this is the fourth, guys, just so you know. And so far the Cubs are winning 1-0. Baez is up. My phone's starting to get warm, so if I go out here, I'm going to have to shut it down and come back maybe a little bit later. 35 with nobody on. 35 is a 39, and that's just a strike. The bias goes again. It's 26, and that's a 13, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout for Baez. One away. Russell. '63. That's 32. That's a fly out the right field. Contreras, 54, that's 32. That's a fly out the right field. Three up, three down in the fourth. Three up, three down in the fourth. Going to the top of the fifth. It's the Cubs won, and the Reds have nothing yet. So they need some help. Concepcion's up in the top of the fifth. And that's a re-roll for Concepcion. And that's a 24. And we're reading the second column with bases empty. That's a 6. And he gets a double to right center. All right. Concepcion gets a double. And since the game is close, we're gonna keep Alcala in, and that's just because the game's close. It's 35 with a man at second. That's a foul out. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. 35 is a 13. That's a strikeout. I'm sorry. Alcala struck out. I keep forgetting that the numbers, and you have to look at the red number, not the black numbers. So Rose is up. One out, man at second. And that's a 1, which means that's a re-roll for Rose. And that's a 33, looking at the second column, which is a 7. That's a single to right, runner scores. So we have a man at first, and Concepcion, who was at second, scored. So the game is now tied. No bunt. No bunt. Just a single by Rose. I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it. right, Griffey's up now. Pete was the one that got the single. Griffey with man at first. All right, come on, Griffey. That's a 34. That's a 31. It says fly out to center field. Runner holds. Okay. Two outs, and we go to Morgan. Yeah, that's right. Glad you reminded me. That's a RBI for Rose. We got a 46. That's a 13 with runner at first. That's a strikeout to the catcher. That's a strikeout. And that will end the inning. But the Reds are got the run back. And we go to the bottom of the sixth. Wait a minute, we go to the bottom of the fifth. I'm sorry. We go to the bottom of the fifth, and Hendricks is due up. And being as it's a tie game, let's see who some of these pitchers are. I guess we'll put in Travis. We're going to put in Woods for Hendricks. But our pinch hitter will be we're going to put in Jorge Holier. Solier is going to be the pinch hitter for Hendricks. And that's a 55, which is a 8. And there's nobody on. And that says fly out to center field. So Solier didn't squat. Center field 8. Fowler's turn. Fowler has the only run of the game. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not right. The game is tied 1-1. He's got the home run of the game. 64 is a 22 with nobody on. Out at first. And that's by the first baseman. And that's first base to pitcher. So that's 3-1. Two outs. Okay. forward. It's 53. That's 17. And that's says fly out the right field. Well, I figure we're in the middle innings and it's tied 1-1. I figure that the best thing for them to do is to try to get something somewhat going. Bryant will be hitting for the Cubs in the bottom of the 6. In the top of the 6 for the Reds, we got Foster. And there's a possibility that you may lose me because my phone's overheating. If that's the case, I'm going to have well, Travis Wood is the new pitcher because I did that at the end of the last inning. So Foster's gets a 35, which is a 9, and he gets a single. Single by Foster. All right. Bench is up. It's a 33, and that's a 6 with one guy on. That's a double over first, runner to third. And I gotta check with Foster, see if he's fast or not. And he is fast, so the runner from first scores. So Foster will score. And oh, that's a double. I'm sorry. So yeah, he got a bench got a double. So the runner scored, and bench is at second. Perez is up. (63-32) with a man at second. Fly out to right field. Runner holds. It's our first out of the inning. Geronimo. That's a 0 for Geronimo. 25 is a 2. Triple to deep center for Geronimo. 25 to 2. See, that's what a 2 is. Triple to deep center. So we have a man at third. We scored a run. And that gives the Reds a 3-1 lead. Concepcion is up. 34 is a 31 with a man at third. I mean, man's at third, 31. Runner holds. It's a fly out. Runner holds. So we've got, it was center field, I believe. We have 2 outs, a man at third, and the pitcher is due up, and the Reds are winning 3-1. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but Jerry, what do you think we should do here? That's right, Jerry. I'm going to try a bunt with 2 outs and a runner at third base. This is going to be gutsy. And the outfield's playing in. Okay, Alcala got a 15, which is a 21. It says out at first, runner scores, but this is the third run of the game, third out of the game, so that's just an out. And that's by the pitcher. All right. Well, it was worth a shot. Sacrifice bunt didn't work, but hey. Oh, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. Geronimo got a RBI. We go to the 7th, and where Bryant's hitting, or I'm sorry, we're at the bottom of the 6th. Bryant is hitting. 46, and that's a strikeout. Bryant strikes out. Rizzo. It's a 14. That's a 30 with nobody on. That's a fly out to left field. Zobrist is up. .36. That's a fly out to second base. So 3 up, 3 down for the Cubs. And that means that Baez will be hitting in the bottom of the 7th. And we're at the top of the 7th. Rose is up. And yeah, Rose is up. Well, I'll have to take a look. Okay, Rose is up for the 7th. Nobody's on. 51 is an 8. Fly out to center field. Oh, my stand. Shoot.